But you are not going to do it anywhere. There is a land called the place. And it, verse 19. And David, according to the saying of God, he went up as the Lord commanded, verse 20. And Araunah looked and saw the king. And when Araunah saw the king and his servant coming towards him, Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king. Power come. And he put his face onto the ground. Next verse. And Araunah said, why is the king come to me? Look at this now. God, careful my son, careful, careful. God said unto David by the prophet, are you still here? He said, for you to end the plague in the land, go and offer a sacrifice to me, but don't offer it anywhere. There is a land there. Go and offer a sacrifice to me on that land. And the land belongs to a man called Araunah. And the Bible says when David got there with his pageantry as a king, Araunah saw him and he bowed down and said, what has the king come to do in my place? And the Bible, and he said unto him, he said, I've come to buy your land so that I can build an altar or sacrifice unto the Lord, so that the plague may cease in this land. Next verse 22. And this is what Araunah said. Araunah said, my king, please, you are the king. Take the land, take anything I have, offer it as a sacrifice to the Lord. I give it to you free of charge. My king, no. You are the king of this land. You see this land, I give it to you. My papa, take anything you want, offer it. Is it not a sacrifice? Give it unto God. And David brought a secret to us. Verse 23. He said, and David said, and all these things Araunah said unto the king. Go to the next verse. Go to the next verse. He said, and David said unto Araunah, no, I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offering unto the Lord, which cost me what? David said, hey, listen, Araunah, you are making a mistake here. You see, you are honoring me to bring this land and say, take it free of charge. He said, but it's not possible for me to give God a sacrifice that did not cost me anything. Sir, if it cost you nothing, it has already failed the first exam. That if it was possible for you to always come to church, for example, just an example, without offering, and when it's time for offering, you just look at your neighbor and preach him and said, help me with offering now. And the person give you, even if he give you 20,000 and you raise it up and say offering time, David is letting you know that the fact that that 20,000 is not on an expense on you. He said it's not going to ascend. If for any reason that money ascend, it's going to ascend on the account of your neighbor that gave it to you. He said, I will not give unto the Lord. Even if it was 5 naira, he said it would have been better for me to give the 5 naira as I won't offer that God know that this is exactly what I have, than for me to take nothing and bring to the Lord. He said, I won't take it free of charge. He said, I love favor, but this kind of favor is not permitted. I can't give to the Lord what costs me nothing. He said, tell me, I will pay with money. Tell me the price of the animals. I will pay. And then Araunah gave him the price. Go to the next verse. And he paid and brought it unto this sacrifice. And David built an altar unto the Lord and offered burnt offering and peace offering. So the Lord was entreated. He said, when David brought it, God said, now you have passed the test. I accept it. Thank you. He said, God accepted the sacrifice. The first factor that makes our giving acceptable unto God is the cost it cost us. Not even the amount. The cost it cost us. That is, whether it is a thanksgiving or sacrifice or not. Are you there? Are you there? If as we close the service now, one of these our young teenagers of 11 years, 12 years walk to meet me and say, Papa, how are you? Say, fine. Say, I really enjoyed the message. Take this, I want to bless you, Papa. And then I open my hand and he put a note in my hand. When I open it, it's 100 naira. And I look at the boy, 12-year-old, I say, who gave you this money? He said, it's my daddy that dashed me. So I said, I will not buy biscuit today. I want to bless my pastor. And I look at him and say, 11 years. Neither. There's something you know your daddy does not know. Neither. May God make you great indeed. Because I look at the costs it cost him. But imagine a situation whereby it is a full-grown adult like you now After service, you block me, say, Papa, I want to bless you today. You really bless me with the word. And you stretch your hand, I open my hand, and you put the 100 naira. And I look at your dressing, and I look at your capacity, and I look at the 100 naira. I will look at you and say, it is well with your soul. Because though I collected the money, but you know that I did not accept it. If case not taken, as you are walking away, I may take the money and just cause myself, take this and drop it on the other. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's an insult on my pedigree. Not because the money is too small or too big, because I know it cost you nothing. Are you following what I'm saying? David said, I will not give to the Lord what cost me. So the question is it a thanksgiving or sacrifice or not? Now, the kind of giving we're talking about this morning is not the kind of giving that you give every day. We're talking about the kind of giving that are special givings that you give unto the Lord. Do you know that the Lord told me 3 years ago? He said one of the reasons why many Christians struggle financially is because they failed the end of the year exam. And I began to ask the Lord, what does the end of the year exam represent? Because many Christians, when it comes to coming to God at the end of the year to thank Him, they come with thanksgiving as if it is a child's play. And at the end of the day, they are accepted by the church, but they are rejected by God. Careless thanksgiving. Careless thanksgiving. To be rejected when you come to thank the Lord at the end of the year is a risk to your new year. This is why many Christians, year after year, their level cannot change. Year after year, their level cannot change. You look at them, nothing is working. Nothing is working in their life. You can't see the hand of God at work in their life. And you look at them, it's as if, as it were, that they even know how to pray. Yet you can't see the results. Because when it comes to the issue of thanksgiving to God, to wrap up the year and to begin a new year, they fail that exam. Because they come to the Lord with a thanksgiving that costs them nothing. For example, there are some of you that are in this church that have never come to your house. Peradventure, now I call you on phone, Mr. Elijah, and I said, how are you? Say, fine, sir. On Monday evening, I want to visit you. That will be my first time of visiting you this year. And you say, Papa, you come? Say, yes, I'm coming with Mama. Any problem? Say, no, I just want to come to your house and visit you and bless you. And then you ask me, say, sir, my wife wants to talk to you. And I say, yes, madam. He says, sir, don't be angry. I want to know whether you will eat. I say, okay, I will eat. He says, sir, what kind of food? Anything. Okay, sir. So you will go to the market, and if you are cooking rice, you buy big meats. Not because it is what you eat every day or what you give to everybody, but because you realize that this visit is once in a while visit. Am I saying something? You prepare as if you are doing Christmas, and then you cook everything, and then if you buy more, you make sure it is very chilled when I come. And when I come, you say, Papa, sit down, you are welcome. Before you pray, let me entertain you as my father in the Lord. Sit down. That does not mean this is how you eat in your house. But you realize that this is a once in a while visit. Adventure, a once in a year visit. Now, look at the opposite of that. That I call you and I say, I'm going to visit you. This is the first time visiting you this year. And you say, welcome, sir. And that day I get to your house. And as I enter, you say, Papa, you are here. Say, yes. Sit down now. What are we going to offer you? I say, anything you have is okay, no problem. Only say, yes, I beg. Send Junior when you go buy pure water, 20 naira, I can't give Papa. Yes. And then you bring the sachet 20 naira. And I look at it. I may collect it because I don't want to look like a greedy pastor. But you will know that I will not accept it. The reason is because it's not that I'm visiting you every day. But this is a special visit. I wish I'm saying something here. This is why many people fail the exam of end of the year Thanksgiving. Because end of the year Thanksgiving is not an offering. It's something that you come to God once in a year to say, I thank you from January to December, how you have helped me. You see, this kind of giving, you must prepare for it. And it must be something that costs you something. Otherwise, your next year, you will be on your own. Listen, I'm going to show you from scripture this morning for you to have a proper understanding of this matter. For those of you that think that God does not care when it comes to giving, go to Mark 12, verse 41. Because it is my responsibility as the one that God has placed over you to show you the right things to do and the right way to do it. Mark 12, verse 41. This is your Jesus. This is my Jesus. And it came to pass on that day that people wanted to give an offering unto God. And the Bible says Jesus sat over against the treasury. Another word for treasury is called offering basket. Jesus was in the service and he stood beside the offering basket, watching people coming to give. The Bible said, and he began to watch how people gave into the treasury. And many that were rich were putting much. So Jesus came to the church, and when they say offering time, he was sitting where Mama was. And they say offering, they brought the basket. Jesus came out here and he stood beside the basket. You think God is not interested? He said, I'm very interested. And he was looking. Rich men gave, poor men gave. When they finished giving, Jesus then called his disciples and said, let me give you a summary of this giving that has taken place. Go to the next verse. He said, and when the people were giving, there was a poor widow. You know, a widow is a woman that has no husband. And not just that she has no husband, she's very poor. The woman came and she brought just 2 coins and dropped it in the offering basket. Jesus washed. Next verse. And Jesus called his disciples and said, let me say this unto you, that church collected it. He said, but in the sight of God, this widow was the one that gave more. It's a wonder. He said the rich people came, some brought bundles. Jesus said, in the sight of God, this widow gave more. And all the disciples, their mouth would have been open and say, how do you mean this widow gave more? It's just 2 coins. 2 coins that she brought. Jesus said the reason is because the widow, everybody they gave from their abundance. Who had 1 million brought 10,000. But this widow, all she had is 2,000. She brought the 2,000. According to mathematics percentage in heaven, the widow has given more. Because it cost her more to give those 2 coins than it cost the rich man to drop that one carelessly. Am I making some sense here? This is the reason why in every church of God, nobody can be intimidated or should be intimidated by the giving of another. Especially when you have an understanding of these matters. He said, in the sight of God, this widow has been accepted because, not because she gave the largest size, but when we look at the cost of what it cost her. So he says, so the one that had 1 million brought 10,000 and he dropped it. That 10,000 is equivalent to his recharge card money for the week. The widow had just 2,000. She brought it and dropped everything. That's equivalent to her life savings. Am I talking to somebody here? He said, in the sight of God, she has given more. In other words, when it comes to giving, one of the things that God uses to decide whether your giving will be accepted or not is to check whether it costs you something. So you see somebody at the end of the year coming to thank God, and they say, we want to call upon the family of Osakolo to thank God for the year. And if it's an environment where they bring food item, you see the person will bring 1 tumba of yam and put it on the head. The man lined up in the front, the wife is at his back, and the 6 children are behind them. 1 tumba of yam. And they come and say, Father, we want to thank you for January to December with 1 tumba of yam. And if you really ask them, that 1 tumba of yam cannot even satisfy them for breakfast. Are you following what I'm saying now? And now they come and say, for them, they think it is an act of wisdom. They do not know that they are played into the book of Cain to bring an offering that will never be accepted by God. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, like I said, it is God that brings the blessing. Men can reject you, but if God accepts you, you will still do well in life. Men can accept you. If God rejects you, you will still fail in life. Have you not seen popular jingles that are still suffering? Everybody know them, their area, but they are suffering. Why there are unknown men that rise up like shooting stars by the hand of the Almighty. The cost matter. So quickly, I want to give you 3 conditions that will determine if your giving will be accepted by God or not. So they will understand that. God, you know, say God knows I not get. God knows I not get. So when you come and they say, come and thank God for the year, and they call your family name, family of J.J. Thompson, and you bring 500 naira to come and thank God for the year. And after you drop the 500 naira, as they share the grace, you go to the bookstore and you buy gala, buy bonds, buy mods, 850. And God is looking at you and say, you think this is wisdom? You see, many people think that it is a product of God being in need. But you realize that these are matters of covenants. Matters of what? That if you say you are a child of God and you are submit yourself to the blessing system of God, you must follow the covenants of God. You can't be in Nigeria and follow the law of America. And you can't be in America and follow the law of Nigeria. The day you become a child of God, you must submit yourself to the laws of God. Otherwise, you become a Christian that will not get the benefit of Christianity in his life. 3 conditions for acceptable giving. Number 1, I want you to please follow this morning as we begin to prepare to thank the Lord for the year. This is an exam. I thank God I don't fail every year. I make sure I pass the exam with all of my heart. The first condition for acceptable giving, number 1, is to give according to what he has done for you. Repeat after me. Say, give according to what he has done for you. You're not talking now. Say, give according to what he has done for you. Matthew chapter 8 from verse 1. The first condition is to give. If your giving is going to be accepted, you give according to what he has done for you. He said, when Jesus was come down from the mountain, great multitude followed him. Verse 2. And behold, there came a leper who came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, I have leprosy, but if you want to, you can clean me from my leprosy. Verse 3. And Jesus put forth his hand and touched the leprous man and said, I will be clean. And immediately, the Bible said the leprosy was clean from the man. Next verse. And hear what Jesus told him. He said, Jesus said unto him, he said, now, tell no man, but go your way. Show yourself to the priest. Offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. Jesus said, now you are being healed. Go and give a thanksgiving unto God according to the specification. That you give according to what God has done for you. Luke chapter 12 verse 48. According. In other words, to him that God has done more for, you should give more. He said, for unto whosoever much is given, of him shall much be required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. He said, the one that have been blessed more, God expects you to give more. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? So see, you know, we see a lot of this. Somebody comes and say, I want to thank God. I just finished building my house. I want to come and do Thanksgiving. And he comes here. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. I just completed my house now. I'm not a landlord. Oh, glory to God. And he comes with that Thanksgiving, empty handed. And then looks at people and says, please, after service, you should come my house. Enjoyment did here. And then you look at them and say, how did you build the house? He said, God help me. So God helped you, but you gave the thanksgiving to your friends. Do you understand? When you killed the goat, you were offering thanksgiving to your neighbors. The one that helped you is there. The ones that were bending their mouth when you laid the foundation and said, no, go build and finish. They are the ones you came to give thanksgiving to. At the end of the day, this is why you see many people rise. And yet they cannot keep rising. Because when it comes to their gratitude, when it comes to the aspect of giving unto the Lord, they fail the examination. Look at what God has done for you for the year. And then you honor him accordingly. You honor him. I learned this as a principle. Anytime I have a major breakthrough, a major testimony, I go to God and I say, Father, look at what you have done for me. What do you want me to give to you? What will be accepted unto you? When I did my baby dedication last year, I went to go say, what? He said, give me $2. That's what I want. According to what you have done, the peradventure, if mother has come out alive and baby did not come out alive, it would have been more expensive than that. If baby had come out alive, mother did not come out alive, it would have been more. Or if doctor has said this is an emergency situation, no, the way I'm seeing it now, we will keep them here for 6 months. You know, most time we know how to service negativity, but we don't know how to service thanksgiving. If there is emergency now, you know how to service it. You know the phone numbers to call to service negativity. But those that have an attitude of thanksgiving and they do it well, negativity becomes far from them. I can't remember the last time I spent my money on Devourer. God forbid. God forbid. I was hearing a message of my father in faith, and he said one time they were going to a program and Nay entered one of his tires, and as the tire left, he looked at the driver. He said, driver, he said, sir, are you sure you pay tithes? Driver said, I don't understand. I said, I've been driving for 20-something years. My tire have never gone down. Why is this my own that the Nay decided to pick? You must be the cause. The devourer must be following you. There is a dimension you enter in God by understanding what belongs to God. You give it to God, that devourer become far from you. Emergencies become far from you. Disasters become far from you. Man of God, I don't know what I always do with my money. At the end of the day, the thing is gone. It has disappeared. Check your life. Are you following these patterns? Because those are fingerprints of the devourer at work. Am I still talking this morning? We give according to what he has done. We give according to what he I want to thank the Lord for keeping me from January to December. So I come to give to him according to what he has done. Number 2 condition for giving that will be accepted by God is that we give willingly. We do what? Talk back to me, church. We do what? Forgive me. I know that this kind of service, this kind of message is not very sweet, but that's why I'm a prophet. I bring the word that God has given my mouth to say to you. If not, I would have become an entertainer to tell you what you like to hear every Sunday. But there are once in a while Sundays that I will not come and shout fire, but I will come to give you what does say the Lord for that moment. You give willingly. Exodus 25 from verse 2. Please pay attention this morning. Anytime you are forced to give, just notice that that giving will not be accepted by God. I repeat. Anytime you are forced to give, just know that it will not be accepted by God. In this kingdom, you can't force people to give. You must. Come in. You must. He said, but I don't have. You must go and look for. Just realize that by the time she comes with that money, throw it on the altar. It will be collected by men, but it will never be accepted by God, and therefore there will be no report, no feedback, no blessing from that giving. Giving must be done willingly. Exodus 25. This is God speaking to Moses. He said, Moses, come power. He said, Moses, speak to the children of Israel. Ah, my God. He said, Moses, to tell the children of Israel, tell them that they bring me an offering. This is God talking. This is God talking to Moses. He said, go and tell my children, I brought them from bondage. Go and tell them now that they should bring offering. Every man should give it what? Willingly. He said, I am God. Ask them that they should bring an offering. He said, but they must give it willingly, not by competition. I am the biggest giver. Not by banza, who had beat the other. So the first one come and say, we give 20,000, say, give 25,000. Not because he wants to give it willingly, but because he wants to show up. That people in church will say, ah, and the men will get me this. Are you following what I'm trying to say? There's nothing wrong in saying I will give more than what the first person gave, if you are doing that willingly. But there are certain people that they may do that because they want to show off. Ah! I remember one church I grew up from. Oh, the way the pastor used to do Thanksgiving, people will come and be giving pledge. You will see a man will just come out and say, on behalf of myself, my lovely wife, and my 4 children, we are going to give 500,000. Everybody just, 1 year, he never paid. Even when he was saying it, he did not even have the plan to give it. What he said that thing for was, hey, you people like, hey, Baba, oh. So after that service, church, people are looking, say, Pastor, where the money? No money. But when the man is walking in the street, those that were in the service said, sure. The purpose of that activity was to make the people see him. I wish I'm talking to somebody now. He said, tell them, everyone should bring an offering. In case anybody told you that God cannot request an offering from his children, the person did not read the Bible. He said, tell my people, to every one of them, not some of them, every one of them. So when you come to thanksgiving unto God as a church, there is no one that is excluded. As long as you are a human and you are under the government of God. He said, every one of them. But it should be with a willing heart. He said, and then you will take the offering. You are going to run with me. Go to verse 3. Go to verse 3. He said, and this is the offering that you will take. Tell them to bring gold. Tell them to bring silver. This was the money they used there. Tell them to bring brass. Next verse. Keep moving with me. Please, please, be fast. Bring blue. Bring purple. Bring scarlet. Bring fine linen. Bring goat's hair. Verse 5. Be fast, be fast. Lamb's hair. Bring badger skin. Bring shittim wood. Oil for the light. Spices for the anointing oil. Sweet incense. Let them bring oil stone. Stones that will be used for the ephod. And in the breastplate. Move on. Let them make a sanctuary. You see the purpose of the giving. He said, tell them to bring wood. Some should bring stone. Some should bring gold. He said, because the purpose is that I want them to build a house. So that I will dwell among them. He said, I want them to build a house. So that I will find a place to dwell among them. He said, so that I will dwell. Do you know how many buildings are in this Ubuyoko? But not all of them God dwells. He said, if they build me a house, I will dwell among them. But every man should give willingly. That's why you cannot steal to give. It's the reason to give. No. God is not under pressure. God is not putting you under pressure. He knows the level you are. He knows the state you are in. I've never given above my level. And by the help of God, I don't give below my level. I am for you. You will give willingly. And number 3, the last. 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 7. If your giving will be accepted, that you will give is certain, but whether it will be accepted is what we are looking at. Okay, let's see the way the people obeyed. Go back to that Exodus 35:29. Let's see the way the people obeyed. Exodus 35:29. He said, so the children of Israel, they brought a willing offering unto the Lord. Every man, every woman whose hearts made them willing to bring all manner of work which the Lord has commanded. The moment Moses told them, the Bible said they obeyed the instruction. And everybody began to move. Say, this is what God is saying. But it must be done willingly. Number 3, 2 Corinthians, cheerfully. Somebody say cheerfully. Talk to me now. He said, every man according as he purposeth in his house, so let him give. Not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. He said you should not give that. Sometimes you sow in tears in your eyes, but in your heart there must be joy while you sow in tears. Are you got what I'm trying to say? Not under coercion. No, there's no need for that. I'm telling you, there's no need for that. So, there's nothing to say. No. See. If you're under pressure to give, and you are pressure. If I don't give now, something is wrong somewhere. We give cheerfully. God does not put gun on your head and say, if you don't give now, you will die. That's the work of the devil. You give cheerfully. He convinces your heart. He convicts your heart. And as a result of that conviction, you give cheerfully. This is why somebody can drop his car key on the altar and he's trekking to, don't worry, I know why I did it. I know why I did it.